Morning, guys. Happy Monday morning motivation. This morning, as I was doing my early morning Bible study time, I like to get up in the wee hours of the morning because the quiet of pre-dawn hours are just very precious to me. And the first thing I do after I get ready for the day, before I even get started with my prayers or anything else, is I need to take the dogs out. They've been inside all night long. They need to go out and walk for a couple minutes before I sit down and focus on just reading the Word. This is around 4:30 in the morning. And in this part of the world, at this time of the year, at those hours of the morning, it's still very dark. And here in the country, the sky is lit up with a beautiful display of stars. I can see the constellations very clearly. It is just breathtaking. And I enjoy that every morning. And then after I've walked the dogs, I come inside, take communion, get on my face before God and study for a few hours. But come around 6:30 or 7, no matter how involved and engrossed and enjoying the presence of God I am, those dogs are going to make sure that I know it's time for them to go back outside again. And although it's only seemed like a short amount of time because I've been so very interested in what I was doing, it's actually been long enough for the dogs to definitely need to be taken care of. And I go back outside again, and now it's daylight. Usually the sunrise has already passed. Usually it's the full light of day. So here's what I'm thinking about as I think about how quickly that time goes. How quickly from the time when it is so dark that it seems like night to all of a sudden it's the full light of day. There are times when time goes very quickly, when it seems like you just sat down and now it's time to do something else. When you're being involved in something that you're very interested in, when you're being entertained by something that you're enjoying, when you're with somebody that you just want to be with. A lot of times that time goes very quickly. And then there are times when it seems like the same amount of time drags on forever. When you're exercising, doing, say, a plank, a minute in a plank can last for a very long time. When you're doing something unpleasant, when you're doing a chore that you've been trying to put off, when you're with somebody that you don't really want to be with, when you're somewhere that you don't want to be. Time seems to drag on for a very long period of time. For example, when Jesus died on the cross and the disciples were left for those 3 days not knowing what to do next. As many times as Jesus had tried to tell them, this is what's going to happen. Be prepared. It's going to be okay. They still only saw what they saw with their earthly eyes. And it felt hopeless. And hopelessness makes time drag on. But at the same time, after Jesus had risen again, and he asked those same disciples to go back into seclusion again and wait for Pentecost to happen. Well, those days went very quickly. They were with people they enjoyed. They had plenty to pray about. And even though Jesus was not standing with them right then and there, they were so full of hope because they knew something spectacular was about to happen. See, the 3 days after Jesus' death, before his resurrection, drug on forever because they lacked hope. And the days between the Ascension and Pentecost went very quickly because they were full of hope. So here's my word for you today. It's time to hope because the time is coming quickly. And I'm telling you right now, these days will drag on and on and on and will never seem to end if you lack hope. But if your hope is set on Christ, if you have your focus set on the promises that he's put before you, if you know that God is good and He has good plans for you, and He has great provision for you. If your heart is set on the hope of Christ, then these are going to be fun times. Enjoyable, full of hope, full of excitement. You may be somewhere you didn't expect to be, with people you didn't expect to be with. But if you're full of hope, the situation is ready to change just as quickly as the sun coming up. All right, I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.